Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel and to my Patreon. If you're looking at this video, there's a very specific reason why I decided to do this video. This is actually a video on how to perform a limpia or a cleansing. Para todos ustedes que nomás hablan en español saben lo que es el mal de ojo or the evil eye. And what I just said was that for everybody that is tuning in, a lot of you may know or grew up in a Hispanic culture. Let me just kind of change my Hispanic culture, or in a background of Latino background where that was actually very much used by maybe your grandmother or people in your family. And basically what this is to cleanse your energy. Anytime that you're feeling kind of down, feeling sick, or you've gone through maybe like a relationship breakup with someone, you're going through a divorce, you just got fired, or you have someone that you know is doing witchcraft on you, or black magic, or hexing, or cursing you, or whatever the shebang is, whatever they're doing to you. If you kind of feel like the need to do it, you could do it. Like a lot of people ask me, Ray, how often do we do a limpia, or how often should we do an egg cleansing? And the answer to that is basically I would not recommend doing it more than just once a week. I wouldn't recommend it doing daily. The reason for that is because you could eventually cause like a imbalance with the spirit world doing so many cleansings, and it could affect you in some ways. I do recommend it at least once a month, but sometimes depending if what kind of work you do, if you're around death a lot, if you're a medium, or you're someone that works like maybe in a hospital as a nurse, or in a mortuary as a mortician, or just somebody that works around death, it is something that you may want to consider. Or if you're a police officer and you're surrounded by a lot of criminals and just negative energy vibrations, those kind of situations and those kind of jobs may prompt you to actually do an egg cleansing more often than necessary. Now, my clients, I typically sometimes do recommend, if I see something on them, spiritual attachments, or any kind of negative energy, sometimes it's necessary to do this. And there's different ways. So my way is going to be the way that I do it. Other people may have other ways that they do it. To me, there's no wrong or right way. So let's get into it. For this egg cleansing or limpia, you will need 1 egg. Okay, some people use 2 eggs in a cleansing. I recommend just 1 egg. That's going to get the job done. You'll need some salt. So I have some salt shaker here. And you're going to need a clear glass filled with water. It doesn't have to be holy water. It can be just a regular distilled water, or just from the tap, right? This is tap water here, and I don't fill it up all the way. I probably should have put a little bit more water in there. With the egg, what you're going to do is you're going to take the egg, and the way that I like to do this is to actually make the sign of the cross. So I'll say in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. And then basically what I'm doing is I'm making the sign of the cross. Then I start right here, and I'll say, in the name of God the Father, I command all negative energy to be drawn away from my body, all witchcraft, all psychic attack, all hexes, all curses, all generational curses, anything that is trying to attach itself to me, any psychic energies or links to me, anyone that has been trying to tap in, anyone that's envious, any hate, anything that is not supposed to be in my auric field, I now ask that this egg absorb and take this energy in God's name. And then I can proceed by saying like an Our Father, or the Lord's Prayer rather, or Saint Michael. So in this case, I'm going to say to Saint Michael, the Archangel, defend us in battle, be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl throughout the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. So once I do that, then I'm going to just go ahead and rub it down my throat, down the center meridians, all the way down solar plexus, root chakra. Then I'm going to take it and I'm going to do my arms, and I'm going to rub the egg all through my arms. If you have somebody else that's doing it for you, they may do it a different way. Then the back of my head all the way down my spine as far as I can go down, and then I'm going to go down my feet. So I'm going to take it down to my feet, out. So down my other leg, down to the feet and out. And so now it's done, right? So here's the egg. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to crack the egg into the water. Why do you want to do that? Because the egg is supposed to absorb all the negative energy that is in your auric field or around you. And so what I do now is I take the salt, and I'm taking the jar, right? And I'm just going to sprinkle a little pinch of that in there. Because salt is a purifier, it's supposed to help like banish all the negative energy. Now, when it's done like this, you want to kind of take some pictures or study it. And this is how I'm going to help you interpret how to read the egg. So you can see mine here. You can see that. Let me hold it up closer to the camera. Can you see that? Okay, can you see that bubble that's right here by my finger? Okay, anytime that you see bubbles in this on the top of the surface or around the egg, the bubbles signify that negative energy is too much and you're feeling tired or drained. Physically drained, right? So you could have like a lot of energy vampires that are around you, or you're giving too much of your energy, you're not protecting yourself. And I have one huge bubble. And then I have a couple of other bubbles here. Okay, then if you see figures, sometimes you can see it in the yolk or the cloud that's kind of surrounding it, or in the water. But usually in the egg, you will see like shapes of faces. If you see a shape of a face, usually that indicates it's the person who's doing that work to you. Now, about a year ago, I was in a very toxic friendship that ended, and I ended up having to do this. And I saw the face of the person when I took pictures of this sideways. I took pictures of the side view of the glass, like this part. I actually saw the figure, the outline of the face, like the silhouette of the face of the person that was doing it, which was the person that I ended that friendship with. And so I knew that they were doing some kind of work against me. But if you see that, that's usually the person that's envious of you, or that's doing some kind of spiritual attacks or work against you. Okay. If you see pointy shapes, these are like needle-like in the form of like nails or needles, usually in the yolk. Like mine has it. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think the camera's going to pick it up. You can kind of see it here. It's like a peak, right? It's going up like a mountain. When you see them like that, basically in the form of nails or like I call them stakes going up, like peaks. It basically means that people are envious of you and have put negative thoughts or energies in hopes that you won't succeed, in hopes that you won't do well. So like in the work that I do, I have at least 3 or 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that could indicate like 4 different individuals who maybe don't like me because of the work that I do, or that just don't like me, and period. That would be the Drusillas out there that I have that kind of always hit dislike on my videos. You're on YouTube. So yeah, I call them Drusillas. But yeah, that's exactly what that means. And then you get coating. Sometimes you'll see a coating like here. I have kind of like a coating all around it. Sometimes you'll see a coating in the actual formation of the yolk. And if you see the coating, basically someone is constantly bothering you or provoking you. But I also feel like sometimes if you see like a cloudiness that surrounds the whole egg, in my case, mine's not like a full cloudy, it's just like the egg yolk and then the surrounding, egg white kind of like around. If you happen to see something like that, like a cloud all around it, it's that you have a lot of spirits, a lot of death around you. This doesn't mean that you're going to die. It just means that you maybe are a medium or opening up to those gifts, and you have so much spirit around you. And basically what this does, this is like a container. It contains all the psychic attacks and work that is done against you. Now, if you see blood spots or black spots in your yolk, okay, this can point to disease, a curse, or very dark black magic, voodoo, hoodoo, very dark, but the darker aspects of that has been done against you. I actually had a friend that I spoke this about on one of my videos, but I have a friend who was feeling beside herself. She was not herself, and she saw a shadow person, but she was like, is it my imagination? And I kept feeling like there was some work done on her by a dark witch. and she did not know about this, and it was indeed dark magic that was done on her. And I told her to do an egg. When she did the egg, there was actually a red blood spot in her egg, confirming the work that was done. So just pay attention to that. If you have a red blood spot in your egg, you're going to need to repeat the limpia, and you should do it maybe the next day. Some people will say later in the week, but I recommend you doing it the same day, doing it again, and then doing it weekly for a month if you have a red spot, because I feel like it's very dark work. And sometimes if it's very dark work that's done against you, and you cannot and you maybe after that you see another red blood spot, or you just don't feel good after you've done it, you may need to consult a psychic medium or a Reiki master, a curandera, somebody that knows about how to cleanse, and someone that can actually like remove some of the work that was done against you. When you do this, I forgot to mention, it's very important for you to have like a white candle lit. I don't have a white candle here because this is just a video for just for demonstration purposes, but it's good to have a white candle because the white candle is the connection to the spirit world, to our angelic realm. And so it's really good to have that done, but again, everybody has their own ways of doing this. Like sometimes I don't even use a white candle, I just do it like this. Okay, the last thing here is if you have like the shape of the eye here, the yolk is like the shape of the eye, that is the evil eye. Somebody that's envious of you did that as well to you. Like mine has the shape of the evil eye. I just can't twist it so you can see it, but maybe you can see it. You can't see it too well, but I can see the egg is formed in like the shape of an eye. And if you have downward spikes with like the egg whites, or just through the water, downward spikes that are actually going down, this indicates that you must control yourself, because maybe you have some resentment, or you're holding on to issues and you haven't healed from that. So again, just pay attention to this. Now, how do you get rid of this? Okay, some people believe that you should take that that jar that you have, or container with the egg in it, and drive off somewhere else and dispose of it, like in a cemetery because it's consecrated ground, or maybe like in an open field somewhere that you would normally not go to. You can do that, okay? Some people want to take that work because of the negative energies that were absorbed by the egg. They want to take that far, far away from wherever they live. That's fine, totally fine. But I don't recommend doing that. I actually feel like it's good to have it back in earth. So what you can do is that you can bury the egg. You can kind of dig a hole in your land if you have land. If not, if you live in an apartment, then you're going to probably have to go somewhere that's public. And again, hopefully you don't get caught doing this. So again, just use your best judgment wherever you think it could be done. You don't even have to go there. I don't want to say that in the video because some people could get caught. And it's probably illegal to actually do that. So don't go somewhere and bury the egg in a public property. But what you can do is that you can throw it maybe out, out the window and save your jar. Some people just like to actually throw it in their toilet and flush it. Or what I've done sometimes is throw it down the sink and just run water and let it go in. The one thing that you don't want to do is to drink this egg mixture, because trust me, there'll be some people that are very like they're pinching pennies and everything, and then they're over here taking the egg and consuming that, or saving the yolk, taking it out of the water and trying to cook it for the next day. Do not, I repeat, do not ingest or cook the egg. You must throw it away. But going back to how I do it, I like to sometimes kind of like dig, and then you can bury the egg in the ground, because you're wanting to send it back into the earth. If you don't just throw it on top of the ground, it's going to eventually go back into the earth. You want it to go back into Mother Earth, the work that was done against you, all the negative stuff that was done against you. And after you do this, it's good to kind of sage yourself, use Palo Santo, and follow up with maintenance, okay? Maintenance. And again, use this as a tool. It's not to necessarily heal you. It is a form of healing, but it's not a permanent solution. Excuse me, a permanent solution, because energy is always going, it's always changing, it's always transforming, and psychic attacks and envious people are always going to exist regardless of what you do. So it's very, very important to kind of, do this and use your best judgment when you should do it, and how often you should do it. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was very, very beneficial to you. And if you are seeing this on YouTube, what are you waiting for? Go to my Patreon and sign up today, because you're missing out on all this good, juicy content that normally I'm not putting on my YouTube channel. I'm just putting it out on my Patreon page. So sign up. It's www.patreon.com/psychic medium Ray. All right, guys. All right. So I love you so much. Thank you so much for the support. Let's hit 37K here soon. All right. Bye.